Welcome back to another episode of the Empower You Project. Today's guest will be Nicolas Corvo, owner of Corvo Cuts. Today he'll be discussing his journey on how he discovered his passion and the non-traditional route he took to get there. So here you have it, my interview with Nicolas Corvo.
Nick, how are you?
Not too bad on yourself.
Not bad. You seem so excited to be on the show.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
You are.
Fun. Yeah.
I'm glad to have you on. I mean, I get to see you on a monthly basis when you're doing those nice little trims and fades in my hair. How's it been going so far, being shut down with the whole quarantine?
I mean, it's tough, obviously, because I like cutting hair, so it's tough to like not be allowed to. It's very frustrating as well, just because I had just started school about a month earlier, and that entire thing shut down because my school had to close and all that type of stuff, and we take clients there, so it's going to be closed for even longer than regular schools are.
So let's get into it. I mean, I've known you for a while, right? So if anybody doesn't know, all right, this isn't nepotism, but this is my little cousin. And I'm not, Nick, as you know, I'm pretty much a straight shooter, so I'm not, and for the audience, I'm not putting him on the show just because he's my little cousin. He's doing great things, and that's why I wanted to feature him. So just let's put that aside for now. So Nick, I know growing up, I mean, I've known you for a while. Cutting hair wasn't the first thing you ever said you wanted to do.
Yeah.
How did, what was the process of you getting into becoming a barber? Like, how did this all happen for you?
So from the time I was 12 to the time I turned 19, I was in the Air Cadet program. It was like a huge part of my life. I have a tattoo commemorating it. I'm like, it was everything to me. Did summer camps where I stayed on military bases for weeks on end. I got to, fly plane. I got a chance to get my scholarship and fly planes for the summer. And yeah, so that was my entire life from like 12 to 17, 18 I was into it. That's what I wanted to do. My goal was to become a pilot, along with one of my longest time friends who I've been friends with since kindergarten. We were in it together. We both wanted to become pilots, blah, 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 blah. We did camps, and slowly, the more camps I did that revolved aviation and flying and getting your pilot's license, I realized I didn't have that passion that, my friends had and other people in the class had. I noticed that, like, obviously, like, I'm not the most studious person, so things did come harder to me, like, compared to other people in the class, which I completely understand. Not everyone gets it at the first time, but also, like, I didn't have like an interest in talking about planes 24/7 like most people I did like my classes with, and most people I spent my summer camps with. So that was like the start. And then it was my time in at Canada College, where I did a summer camp where I spent the whole summer there learning about different jobs at an airport that aren't piloting. I did a lot of airport operations. I got to see like NORAD, like secret military base. Got to like be a fighter for a day. Got to work in CBSA, refueling, all that type of stuff. So that, like, I started to realize like there's more to aviation than just being a pilot. Like, I obviously knew, but this is when I started to like realize like I kind of like doing other things more than becoming a pilot. I got the chance to go to pilot school to get my my glider license. That's flying gliders, planes with no engines. And this was like a weird point in my life. I had just graduated high school. I was going on to CEGEP, like not really having an idea of what I wanted to do. So I went to the camp. The camp was tough, I was kind of falling out of like being a cadet, like kind of turning a little bit rebellious, wanting to go against the rules, wanting to, like do something different from everyone else. So I had grown a weird hairstyle. I had grown it pretty long on the top, and I would shave the sides, which was like a military standard that was accepted. Um, but it turned out that on this camp, I had a colonel who didn't really like me very much. She didn't like many things about me, but the main thing was the hair. I was like one of the only kids, uh, plus or minus a few others, that had like a different hairstyle from everyone else. And you know, that was, I don't know, she didn't like me. They started cracking down on like hair codes and stuff like that, so people had to get haircuts, and military based haircuts aren't really the best type of haircuts. Yeah, they're pretty much
Let's ask Elvis Presley, and his.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so they're not the best, and I had brought a little hair trimming kit with me, like on the camp, because I was gonna spend 6 weeks there, so I needed to do something. So I ended up cutting the hair of like my fellow colleagues, like in the locker room, like hidden, like so no one could see, like no one could see what we were doing, because it's technically like harming someone else according to the codes and standards of the air cadets
Okay.
when you cut someone's hair. So yeah. And then from there, it was, yeah, it like from there I had started cutting hair. About a week later, I left the camp, unfortunately due to other circumstances that like I couldn't really control. And I had my first summer ever in like 6 years, which was very nice. You know, it sucked to like not get my pilot's license like kind of the rest of my friends, but you know, I wasn't too interested in it anymore at that point, so I was fine with it.
I find it very cool that at a young age you already started recognizing the connection between how your friends were kind of eating and breathing it.
Yeah,
And you started to realize that obviously this may not be for you because you're not going through that same emotional love for it.
yeah.
And it's crazy because that's some good intuition, because a lot of people will continue pushing the subject until they're 35, and now they're long into a career that they never liked, that they forced themselves on, and they're having to make a career change at 35 years old.
Yeah.
You did it at 18, 19 years old. So I think that's awesome. So Nick, you said you decided to go to a trade school, right? And now you're in trade school. You pretty much have been teaching yourself for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
without discounting, university and colleges out there, what is your thoughts now that you decided not to go to university and you're kind of doing this trade thing and you're following?
Yeah. Well, in high school they explained that like, well, in high school they explained to us students that you didn't necessarily need university, but there was always that big social pressure from like family and like other like if you don't go to university, like you're not gonna succeed, you're not gonna do great. I did start to follow the path. Like I said, I went to CEGEP. I graduated CEGEP, and didn't really know what I was doing that entire time, but it's okay. And all my friends, besides like maybe one or two, went on to CEGEP and university and all that type of stuff to continue on with what they wanted to do in their life. To me, not knowing what I wanted to do, but going into something that I thought like I would like, or something, or like just guessing about like, I like finance, I'll go into finance or something like that. It just doesn't seem like a solid move, like it doesn't seem like something that you're like you could be like passionate about, or if you just like something because it's easy to you or something. So yeah, all my friends are in university and I'm doing a trade school, but we're succeeding kind of on the same level. I have friends that literally just graduated last week, and me be like graduating at the end of this year, probably in November, will kind of end up being on the same level anyway, just different paths. Yeah.
And now you're happy doing what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, cutting hair isn't a job. It's a passion. I don't, if I could do it for no money, I would.
So Nick, so you've discovered your passion. Let's put the COVID-19 thing aside for now.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see this going? Like, I know this is a huge question, and I know at your age it's kind of like, oh man, dude. But like, I mean, have you done a vision board? Like, do you visually see where this needs to land up? Like at 30, where do you want to be?
Well, short term is like, I really don't know. I just want to like go with the flow. Well, long term like is a lot more complicated. I mentioned before, I'm also doing women's hairdressing along with, working every day as a barber. So trying to decide which one I want to put my attention towards more has become a challenge actually recently. Not knowing which one I want to focus on more, or which one I even like more, because I like them both for different reasons and different ways. Obviously, monetarily, women's hairdressing has a lot more money in it, but it's a completely different vibe from barbering. So in the future, I'd say like I do want to own my own business. I do wanna own something that I could say I put my blood, sweat, and tears into, something like that. But for the past year or two, I've also been thinking about traveling abroad and cutting hair in different countries. It came to me about a year and a half ago that Europe is like the mecca of like hairstyling and stuff like that. So I've always had the interest of going, to London or going to Italy or somewhere else in the world to learn different techniques and something I could bring back here eventually. So that's like in the shorter term, long term era.
I think that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so cool, man. I can't wait. Just warn me in advance, right? So that I can
Yeah.
my head bald at that point this way. Just let it grow. No, I'm kidding. No, but in all honesty, Nick, I love everything you're doing. I really appreciate your hustle and
Thank you.
and you're sticking to what you wanted to do despite everything around you, man. I wish you all the luck in the world, dude.
Thank you. I look up to you as a small business owner. Like, I take a lot of my ideas and like tips that like you give me like almost on the daily, like of things I could do to help out my business. So
that's, what, and you're welcome. In the end, and this is the great part, and this is what people fail to understand. We're a community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get the businesses, and this is my rant, by the way. I don't get the businesses that are so like, oh, this is my secret. This is what I've learned. I'm not helping anybody. No, there's enough business to go around for everybody. And if everybody were to actually give a helping hand, like the two barbershops you went to that mentored you, I was very lucky on many occasions to be mentored by great people. Some I still have a good relationship with. Unfortunately, some I don't, which is fine. Life happens that way. But we should all be looking out for each other. There's no reason why we shouldn't. You know what I mean? So big kudos to you. It takes a lot of guts to do that. And you know what, man? Gary Vee says it. At 19 years old, you got 5 to 6 lifetimes ahead of you, right? So now's the time. Take the risks. So big shout out to you for doing that. I look up to you because I wish at your age I had that intelligence and that perception to realize that it moment, and I just got to do what I got to do for me. So I hope that by having this video out, we can help inspire other guys your age to just go, you know what, I just got to do what I love. And just stick to that and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So keep doing what you're doing. So if my clients or my audience or whoever's watching this in the local area needs to get a nice fade or cut or a nice beard shave, which apparently I need very badly, how do we get in contact with you?
You could follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Corvo Cuts. All my contact information is on there, including my email and phone number. Could send me a DM. Yeah, that's about it.
Perfect.
Montreal and Laval.
And thank you so much for the gear, by the way.
You
Loving
know.
my t-shirt. Wear that proud. Yeah. Love your logo. Nick, it was an absolute pleasure having you on my show. Please keep growing. Please keep moving forward. As soon as you have an availability, you let me know, because I need to get this bush of a sideburn taken off.
I need a cut too, so
Yeah, but I can't help you with that. You don't want me doing that. Trust me. I'll train you, but I won't cut your hair. Anyways, Nick, thank you so much, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be a part of this project, and it's exciting. I'm happy to get out there. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
And there you have it, another episode of the Empower You Project. Once again, thank you to Nicolas Corvo from Corvo Cuts. It was a pleasure having you on our show. Everybody, don't forget to check out our website, www.empoweryouproject.com. You will see all our media, past media, and current. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube videos. And we will see you next week.